which I didn't want.
Very well. Oh, look at you. I was scared to wear mine because if somebody step them up, I'm going to be so mad.
Touch the ground.
Right, that's how I feel. Hey, mine's sitting up on a little shelf in my closet. I don't
I thought about that. I said, "Oh, I pay $120 for
just look at
to
them.
look at it."
How you doing? How you doing today?
I'm blessed.
All right, cool. Yes, sir. Right now. Check. All right, we'll get started in just a couple minutes as we finish everyone going through the line. So we'll start in about 3 minutes. right, Rattlers. How y'all doing today? Yeah, we here. It's indeed a pleasure, as it always is, to be in front of you. Last week I wasn't here. I was in Gainesville. I had a excused absence. But I tell you what, being down in Gainesville sure made me miss Tallahassee. It's not a knock against the Gators, but it's no place like home. The orange was good, but that blue just didn't sit well with me. It wasn't that blue. It was Gator. It wasn't that blue. It was Gator blue. Okay, yeah. All right. Um, Real quick before we get started, I'd like everybody to pause for a quick moment. If we could get everybody to pause, if we could get everybody to pause for one quick moment for a moment of silence. Food line, can we stop for a moment? A moment of silence for our two young rappers that we lost, recent graduates of FAMU. A moment of silence. All right, thank you. All right, just want to give you an update of what we're going to do next week before we get started, to give you a heads up. Next week, I've organized nearly all of the people you will have to come in contact with for your game day experience. We have the police chief coming. We have the ticket office coming. We have family athletics coming. And we're also going to have the uh, director of sports information and media. So if you have Rattlers Plus, they'll explain that. So next week is going to be a crucial meeting to get you a lot of information leading into the season, so that you make sure that your tickets are straight, when you can pick up your tickets if you get them printed, what is going to be the traffic pattern coming into Bragg Stadium. Police Chief Audrey's here. Y'all might not want to ask Audrey too many questions. I'm just kidding. Audrey's nice, but she doesn't play. And ticket officer and the representative from athletics, who will be able to answer your questions about game day experience. So next week is a crucial meeting, so there's no reason to miss anyway, but make sure you're here next week. Before I forget, and I'm going to say this again at the end, there are some bags of potatoes and vegetables that you can pick up in the back on the way out in the room right over here. You're free to take some, but just make sure you save some for the next person. I want to say this and be very clear and transparent on this. We had a great year last year. We actually did. We had a great year, and it's all due to people like you and the people at home who listen. You know, you see me up here and Selvin up here. We talk because we have to, but it's because of the people here that support FAMU. They're not writing checks to me, they're writing checks to FAMU so that we can support our student athletes. We had some great seasons last year, very successful seasons. And all in our campaign, we raised $100,000 directly into the $1 million campaign, and about another $50,000 into the nutrition side. So all in all, we raised about $150,000 last year. I don't hear anybody applauding, because that's money that our university did not have to find in the different ways. I applaud everyone who wrote a check, sent a cash app, sent it by bird, in a bottle. Everybody who got us money, you know, there were times where I'm just out in public and somebody will run and hand me a check. And we would get those to Wilma and Al to put those in. That was a great effort. Our ultimate goal is still $1 million. We're just gonna keep plugging until we get there. We're gonna continue to plug until we get there. And so I wanna thank everyone once again. And we will be invited on the field. I don't know if they'll let everybody come, but I wish everybody that gave money could come out there on the field. But they have informed us that we will be invited to come out on the field for our donation. But once again, thank you all for that money. We know times are hard, especially in athletics department, who can't use money from the general university. So on behalf of our athletic department and our coaches and our student athletes, thank you once again, everybody who has written a check or given us money. With that being said, right now we must concentrate on the nutrition side. We must concentrate on our nutrition side to make sure that all of our student athletes have the proper nutrition. Coach Sims, I just saw him coming. Did I see Coach Sims come in? Yeah. Yeah, Coach Sims is coming in. And we need to make sure that we refurbish that nutrition account. That account number at the FAMU Foundation for those who are online is 2148. It should be up on your screen. Account number 2148. We must bolster our nutrition account to make sure that we can support all, and that supports every team. Everybody has access to that nutrition. Coach Sims is really working these guys and gals out. When I tell you, being in condition is not going to be an excuse this year. He's a highly talented guy. And hey, Coach, he's a highly talented guy, and we're glad to have him. And we're going to bring him up and let him talk to you all later. But I need donations to account number 2148 so that we can bolster our nutrition system. Coach, get your plate and you come right up here. 2148, we need to bolster up the nutrition. Okay. At this time, before I proceed any further, I'd like to bring up Mr. Selvin Cobb for his updates.
Thank you, Ron. Good afternoon, everybody. We are bringing you up to date on where we are. We got a lot of activities that we have planned for 2025-26 academic school year. Well, first of all, we're going to begin with on Saturday at the Jake Gaither Park. We're going to have a golf tournament, and this golf tournament is, I think we may have 1 or 2 players left. If we got that many, we may be sold out. It's we're having a golf tournament, and that's going to be Saturday. We're going to get you started early in the morning, like Saturday at 8 o'clock. The date, August the 9th. Thank you. Thank you. That's August the 9th at Jake Gaither Park. Tea time is, I got it in my folder, so I have to pull it out. But I want to think it won't be any later than 8 o'clock in the morning. So we want to get you in, get you on your 18 holes, get you back home so you can cool off. So that's going to be, again, August the 9th, Jake Gaither Park, and we're looking forward to having all of you all there. With that, we treat you with breakfast. We also treat you with dinner, and then you can be on about your day. And on August the 23rd, remember that, August the 23rd, most of you all have already purchased tickets, but we still got some tables left. Now, that's August the 23rd. That's going to be at the Al Lawson Center. Starts at 2 o'clock. It's going to be a clear bag policy. We can, we want everybody to come because this is going to be a celebration. We're celebrating our student athletes. We not only will football be there, but our bowling team will be there. Our cheerleaders are going to be there. Our basketball, men and women, they're going to be there. Our indoor track, they're going to be there. So we are going to really, really help celebrate our student athletes. You want to have any interference, you're going to walk around, you get autographs, you talk to them. It's just so interesting to listen to our players, find out where they're from. Talk about a lot of these places, we already know where they're from, but just find out the people that they do know. And a lot of them are people that we actually went to school with. So it's going to be a fun time. So again, that's August the 23rd, starting at 2 o'clock, Al Lawson Center. And we're going to open up the door probably about 1 o'clock. We'll open up the door about 1 o'clock. So if you haven't gotten the tickets, then please raise your hand or see some of the Rally Boosters here and make sure that you get the tickets. And for those people that who won't be here, I'm going to ask you to send us a donation. Send us a donation because if you want to help our athletes, we need money. Money. Now, Vaughn talked about nutrition. Send money for nutrition. We really need money for nutrition. Now, I'm going to talk about muscle building because you got to have some. You need muscle building for the bone structure. Now I know strength and conditioning is going to be there, and a lot of you all got questions about what's going to happen with strength and conditioning and how well we're doing and who the quarterback's going to be. But he ain't going to answer about the quarterbacks, but he's going to tell you how well they're doing in the weight room. Okay. We'll leave that up to the coaches to answer that. So again, if you could go online, which is www.famuathletic.com. You can go online and you can contribute for muscle milk. Now we got one other thing that we're going to do. And I was talking about our plans earlier on. When the offensive coordinator comes, we raise money based on how many points that they score. Okay? Remember last year we started that? But we're going to do that again. We're going to do this again in 25. We're going to raise $1 for every point that they score. You all and we all are going to attribute $1 for every point that they score. So if we get 100 points, that's $100 we're going to ask for that week. Okay? So we pushing for 100 points. We got 5 quarterbacks, okay? So we pushing for 100 points a game. All right? Last year, the local chapter, I forget the name of it, but it's the NAA. We started something that we call a booster roundup. We have it on Fridays. Last year was at the Holiday Inn on Appalachia Parkway. Well, we're gonna try to do that again this year, and that's on Fridays. We're gonna meet, and we're not gonna keep you all night. Probably meet there about 6:30, and probably about 9:30 we're gonna let you go, so you can enjoy the rest of the Tallahassee activities. Okay, so we're gonna start that our first home game, which is gonna be on September the 18th. So we got that going. We also, uh, we're in the process of electing our board of directors. We have one member here, and I don't see the other. But we're gonna be electing 5 board of directors. Uh, Gene McKinney, he's sitting over here. He's gonna be one of those people that's on for the board of directors. And also, starting next Tuesday night, we are going to have our regular booster meeting. And it's going to be 7 o'clock on Tuesday, and it's going to be Zoom. So if you don't have it, just call me, let me know, and I'll make sure that you get the Zoom link so that you can tune in to our meeting. So with that, one other thing, and he's just chopping at the bits, because we have a 75-inch TV, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, Johnny, you stand up, or you want to come and make this announcement?
No, we got a smart TV, 75-inch 4K for $20, and it will be wrapping off at the 23rd, on the 23rd luncheon. We need everybody to take a chance. $20, $20. Matter of fact, I won it last year. I won the 75-inch TV last year. But anyway, I got the tickets over here. Before you leave, please come by and purchase a ticket. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Wilma?
We have one large female, size large female orange 220 quarterback club shirt. It's a female shirt, female cut, size large. It's $50. See Wilma, and she's also starting the next order. And so we'll make sure we get that. I want to run down some dates real quick before we go any further. On September 26th is the annual FAMU Sports Hall of Fame. It will be in Gaither Gym this year. The FAMU Sports Hall of Fame, September 26th. For those listening in who might be out of town, on August 22nd, the night before the booster kickoff in Tampa, the Tampa Bay Rays will honor a young lady that's actually going into the FAMU Sports Hall of Fame. Matter of fact, the Rays found out she was going in the Hall of Fame. She's from Tampa. That's all MEAC softball player Amber Fullwood. She was a part of the team that won 4 consecutive champions. Every year she was here, her team, they won the MEAC. 6 remarkable young ladies that Coach Wiggins recruited won those 4 championships in a row and graduated in 4 years. And most of them made the MEAC commissioners all academic team the whole time. So it doesn't get any better than that. So the Tampa Bay Rays are having her throw out the first pitch on the game on August 22nd. For all those in the Tampa area, go out and support. And they're also, when you buy a ticket, they got a special Rays FAMU hat to commemorate the night. So that's August 22nd. The Rays, of course, Tropicana Field is not functional yet. They're working on a new roof. I saw the new roof, but they're playing at the Yankees training camp facility. So the tickets are limited, but August 22nd, Rattlers. Of course, the Orange Blossom Classic is August 30th. Also on August 29th, FIU I get to look. Yeah, FIU is playing BCU the night before our game, and they have a special offer if you're going to the Orange Blossom Classic and you want to go to that game to see Coach Simmons' first game as FIU coach. There is a special discount. I can get that to you if you're interested in going to that. We're also proud that on September 6th, when we play FIU, on September 5th, former FAMU SGA President Tori Austin will be inducted as the president of Broward College. So a great Rattler has ascended to the presidency of Broward College, and we'll definitely be there to support him. I know this one has nothing to do with the Rattlers, but it got to do with my old school Rattlers. Gladys Knight, October 24th at the amphitheater. Gladys Knight is coming, October 24th to the Adderley Amphitheater. Yes. I already got my 6 tickets. Which one? We play FAU. So I said both of the schools. Okay. So on the 29th, Bethune plays FIU. That's Willie Simmons' first home game. The next weekend, we go down and play FAU in Boca Raton, and that's the weekend that Tori Austin's inaugurated. Okay. For which one? FAMU FAU is September 6th in Boca Raton. Also on August 27th, the Marching 100 will be performing on center court at the U.S. Open on a tribute to Althea Gibson. That's very special. That's going to be very special. Yeah. And so before I bring up Coach Sims, I just want to say one thing to all the Rattlers here and online. Trying to raise money for the university right now is kind of tough because there's a lot going on. And people will tell you when I go up to them and they tell me why, especially if they tell me why not, they're donating, it really goes past me. I say, maybe they don't know where I grew up. I grew up on Young Street, right down from the architecture building on Young Street. Let me tell you about my street. On the end of Young Street was Miss DeCourcy, longtime educator. And then there was our house. And then across the street from us were the Blacks, Barbara Black and all of them. So that's where my mom sent us in the summertime. We weren't scot-free. She was sending us over to Miss Barbara's house for tutoring. Come back across the street, Nat Adderley Sr. Next to him was Mr. Rainey, where the Rainey building is named after. Across from him was a guy named Jake Gaither. Down a little farther up the street was Edwina Martin. And at the end of my street was the house of J.R.E. Lee. So when I tell you I don't have an excuse to ask you for money for our school, ask me about the street I grew up on. So anybody with any excuse about you don't like this, you don't like that, if that blood is orange or green, and you love to see our teams win, and you love to see our coaches succeed, we got to donate. We have to donate. We cannot let what's going on around deter us and deprive our students and our coaches from being successful. If I sound emotional, I am. That's what it means to me. So I know Coach ain't planning to hear all of that. So I'd like to introduce our new Assistant Director of Athletics for Sports Performance. You know, sometimes when you hire people at a school and people from out of town call you and say, man, y'all got a good one. As late as this morning, when somebody saw the flyer that I posted about this, I got a call. And they say, man, y'all got a good one in Coach Sims. So anyway, bringing up our new Assistant Athletic Director for Strength and Performance. I know I messed that title up. Coach Both Hills.
Greeting Rally Nation. Again, I'm Mo Sims, Director of Sports Performance here. You got close. It's all right. I'll clear it up for you. I'm just glad and honored to be here. It's my 15th year in the profession. Just to give you a little bit of my background, I just recently came from University of Colorado. Been at University of Georgia. Was fortunate to win a national championship there. Just coming off of having the Heisman Trophy winner. Just being here has been an honor and just trying to continue to move the needle. I just want to thank you guys for the contributions that you've made thus far. The good news is, we've been able to do a lot of things with the resources that you guys have provided us. And the fact that you guys gave us an increase in order to go grocery shopping went a long way for our guys. I just want you to think about something. So our original contribution that we were getting was $2,000 a month, and we upped that to $25,000. So when you think about $2,500 a month, and you think about feeding 200 athletes, that's saying that you're going to feed an athlete based off of $12.50 a day. So I would just want to see a show of hands of who can eat good. $12 a day. Anybody out there? I know somebody gonna understand. Yeah. All right. So the point I'm making with that is that would be just for one day, and that's the contribution that we're getting for the entire month, and that's based off of 200 athletes, and we have doubled that amount. So when you get to dividing that down, that number shrinks tremendously. But again, it's better than nothing. I just want to thank you guys for what you have done thus far, and I'm hoping that we can continue to move that needle. Again, the support has been phenomenal. A lot of people don't know that I'm here. Like he was saying, people are reaching out to him today. There's a lot of people that don't know I'm here, and my purpose of coming here was to move the needle on the program and get this program as close to operating as powerful as possible, and to support Coach Colzie's and all the other athletic coaches' mission. So that's my job, and I take tremendous pride on that. And this field means a lot to me. It's my vessel in order to be able to pour back and aim to inspire young athletes to reach their goal. So, initially out of the gate coming here, I spent $6,000 to $8,000 out of my own money just based off of equipment needs that were there, and kids that were walking around saying that they were hungry, and I knew we had a goal and a mission on what we were trying to accomplish. So I dug into my own pocket, but that's just how much it means to me. So without further ado, just any questions that you guys have, feel free to shoot at me.
Hello, Harold.
Welcome, Coach Sims. Thank you for being willing to come here
Can't hear you.
thank you, Coach Sims, and thank you for coming here to try to keep our nutrition program, strengthening conditioning program going. I was in discussion regarding nutrition today with one of our members, and it's my understanding that there are some student athletes who may not be on scholarship who are looking for just basic nutrition, let alone the supplemental nutrition that's provided by the nutrition program. My question is, do you all triage those in any way to identify who has the most critical need, and are those the ones who have access to the nutrition center on a priority need? And I look at this as being similar to kids in school, where if you don't feed them, there's a position to learn or get into a mindset of learning. So we have both a learning issue here and also a performance issue, and how the nutrition center satisfies their nutritional needs.
Yes, Mr. McKinney, I'm not sure if you guys seen it, but the the Venom Nutrition Center is where we house all that stuff, and we don't have to chase anybody. Again, it's a true need. So the guys who have meal plans, they kind of handle their business over there as far as fueling up. But we do have people that do not have meal plans once the season or once we get in school. And like I said, they're beating down the door to get what we're able to provide to them. But it's cereal, it's Pop-Tarts, it's kind of Hot Pocket breakfast deals. We're making sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, ham sandwiches, things of that nature, just in order to fuel them. But I'm not sure how else to answer your question, but we don't have to like make a list of those guys. They come in and we have to ration it out day by day. We can't give them the portion that they absolutely need. Otherwise, we won't have anything on day 2. So we have to ration that out. But the people that are in need are getting a little bit of fuel.
Coach, how are they looking? How have the players improved in their strength and agility?
Yes. I would say our work load, our work capacity has improved tremendous since my arrival. A lot of that, doesn't have anything to do with me. It's just, they're on a mission and they're bought in. They don't like the results of last year, and you got some tremendous leaders that are leading this thing. So all I did was dish out a plan, but a plan is no good without good leadership. So I say that our program is definitely trending in the right direction.
Coach, you mentioned that you make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yes, sir.
Do you have enough peanut butter and jelly on hand?
Yes, sir. We do currently, but again, not to distribute it in the quantity that we would like to daily. We would like to get to the point where I don't have to worry about will we have this next week? Will I have this next month? And the same as the funding. Like right now we're shopping at Piggly Wiggly again. That peanut butter and jelly that we're getting is coming out of that 2,500 that we're getting a month. So we're able to dish it out, but again, we would like to be able to increase that amount.
Yeah, how you doing, Coach?
Go well.
It's no way we can get like food sponsor in the city. I'm just not talking to you, but I'm talking to anybody like we can't get a town or something with like Golden Corral. Is that possible? Because I think it's gonna be always a deficiency with just trying to live off a donation. We 501c3 or 501c4 yet to be able to get these people to, contribute to the program and then, to write it off on their taxes a little later on. That you guys.
Gotcha. Yeah, Piggly Wiggly is, the sponsor now, and we are looking into and reaching out to other companies to see if they're willing to contribute. There's also some local food trucks that have been willing to make a contribution as well. We've had several donations come in, some from Redcon, some from Honey Stingers, some from Performance Better Nutrition. They supplied a lot of the B12 vitamin, multivitamin, and vitamin D for us. And I received close to $25,000 worth of product that we didn't pay a penny for. So there are people that are willing to contribute. It's just a lot of different needs that we can still improve on.
Yes, Coach. Did I miss something here when you said you ration out food for the kids? You have to ration it out?
Yes, sir, we do.
Some. That's for some, that's for all, or that's the way it is?
That's for all, so we do not run out week to week.
In doing so, they have a balanced meal. They will have a balanced meal as you ration it out.
No, sir.
They do not?
We're not close to a balanced meal of what we are able to distributor right now. We're simply kind of healing stomach growls right now. That's kind of where the point we're at. Like I said, we're giving out Pop-Tarts, we're giving out cereal, we're giving out Hot Pockets. That not a balanced meal for those guys that's coming in the morning for breakfast.
So just to be clear, the nutrition station is not meant to be a meal plan. What we're doing is supplementing what the way that we developed it. It's not a meal plan. It does not substitute for an athlete having a meal plan, whether it's on campus or them doing it.
Thank you.
The nutrition station that we invest in is to bolster the nutrition when they work out, to make sure that they can build their protein back up or that sort of thing.
Right.
It is kind of morphed into a need area that's kind of expanding it, which is what Coach is describing.
Yeah, that answer was to address the people that wasn't on the meal plan. That's what we were discussing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, some have a meal plan and some did not.
The question is, what's the head count that comes through the nutrition station?
I mean, we're over 200. I mean, when you think about summer, initially before we cut the roster down, we started out around 130 with football alone. So you think 130, 140? What? Oh, yeah, we had half of that. But when you think about basketball, you know, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, we get close to 200. No, I'm saying if you divide the $2,500 that we're receiving right now by 200 people, that puts you at $12.50 per person. And I asked, who could eat off of that a day? And that's what we're doing a month, $12.50 a person per month is what we're doing currently.
You, President Ball, this is to you, President Ball. President Eddie Jackson used to start off the 220 every year with asking each 220 members to contribute $100
Right.
to nutrition.
Right.
So I think we need to kick it off like that again.
Yeah.
And I have my 100
Yeah.
that I will give today. And that's how we used to start it off.
All right, y'all heard the charge. We would like every member of 220 Quarterback Club, if you could, specifically, the account number is 2148 at the FAMU Foundation. We really need to bolster our nutrition station to make sure that our athletes have the fuel they need to perform the way we want them to perform.
My question is, and McKinley was probably right on point where I'm going. So has anyone actually sat down and determined how many people are involved, how much it's going to take, excuse me, for each respective player to develop a budget so that you'll know exactly we need 20,000, 30,000, regardless of how much it is, so that you can come before us and say, hey, this is what it's going to take to make sure that these athletes are fed nutrition on it. And so has anyone actually sat down? I think we talked about this last year, but I don't know. Has anyone done that?
No one's from the outside done that, but we've met about that as a staff, and you know, we do have a lot of coaches that come from like Power 4 programs and things of that nature, and we're all aware that most of those programs put out close to $25,000 to $30,000 a month for that need. And again, all we can do is make sure we're doing, you know, our part in inching and getting as close to that as possible. You know, we may not get to 20,000, may not get to 10,000, but as long as we're increasing that, our kids are buying in, they're noticing the difference, and they know that we have their best interest at heart. So as long as we can continue to improve, again, the guys, they're appreciative, that their gratitude level is there. and they appreciate what we're providing.
One of the things that we keep saying is that whatever you need, say that. You know, don't assume that you won't get the help. Don't leave it on us to have to worry about what it is. Now, if we don't give it to you, that's fine. But we ought to always know what you need. And so when you come with any idea, what is idea to how much would you need? And start there. So don't leave it up to us to hope we're doing enough. But tell us what you need.
We got one more.
And that's the reason I asked Coach to speak himself and me not to speak for him. That's exactly why I brought Coach here today and why they took time to run right over here after practice to be here. So, Coach, we will have some discussion, and I will try to, we'll try to figure it out.
Appreciate it.
I just wanted to quickly say that the reason you're being asked that question is because Ms. Matthews would have written out $1,000 check today if it was that. But you know, all jokes aside, we do need to know what your needs are because I not only will give $100, I give $250 if I need to in order to better address the needs of the student.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, the last question was, everybody's ready to donate, but they just want to know, and I think you've addressed it, but just reemphasize how you get meals to the kids that are not on meal plans. How do they access the nutrition?
Real food.
Yeah, I don't handle the real food. That's, again, we're just kind of supplementing the meal plans that are being provided on campus. What we have asked some of the guys to do is, pack lunches for their teammates if they're not on the meal plan. But what we're doing is working through Piggly Wiggly. We have a charge card. I go grocery shop and you guys pay the bill. And again, we're up at $2,500 and hoping to be able to increase that.
All right, Coach, don't leave us. I know we put you on the hot spot in his first day, but we need to know. I mean, this isn't lip service. These people care, and as you'll see, people are starting to write checks so that we can bolster this up. What we're going to do is we're going to meet with Coach to see what we can do to assist this process. I just want to emphasize to everyone that our nutrition station is a supplement to the meals. We don't have the ability to completely fund meal plans. That is the athletic department's responsibility. And so we don't want to hamper that at all. That's something that needs to be addressed with the athletic director to do that. But what we can do is continue to do our supplement and do the best job we can do at the supplemental level. If we get enough funds, we can get hamburgers over there. I don't care. Whatever we can afford, but we have to make sure, we have to look at that budget and make sure we can sustain for 12 months. That's our thing. Because even when they're not playing, they're preparing for the next year. So that's our job as a board, is make sure what can we afford and we're sure that we can sustain. Obviously, everyone in here, and I'm sure the many board members have already spoken up, that we want to step this up. The account number at the FAMU Foundation is account number 2148. If you're online, you can do it online on the foundation's website. You can send us the check or send it to the foundation. You can give us a check or whatever, but we have to bolster our nutrition. If you ask me, that's our most critical. And just like Coach emphasized, it's not just football. Volleyball starting, cross country starting, golf plays in the fall. So we got a lot of student athletes that would benefit from this.
And with that being said, just another thing I'll leave you with is most programs have 5 strength coaches for football alone. And we just upped our staff to 3 total for the entire athletic department. So that's another thing I would dive into and try to increases our personnel for our actual department. The goal that me and AD sat down with was so that every sport can have their own strength coach. That's the true need and true desire. And again, that's a goal that we have in order to inch our program closer to the P4 level.
All right, we're gonna have a church moment here. If anybody has offering, right here. Lock the door. Close the door. Close the door. FAMU Foundation, account number 2148.
This will go to our president's salary.
And one more thing that several of the people locally here have asked me, and the answer is yes. If you are out at Sam's and you want to buy a couple of extra boxes of granola bars, drop them by. You don't have to just go through the process. If you're out at Sam's or Walmart, you want to get some extra loaves of bread or some extra peanut butter and jelly or some Pop-Tarts, trust me, Coach will welcome you with open arms, walking in the door with anything. And that's for anybody online as well. If you're out shopping and you got a little extra, just think about our student athletes and drop it by. You eliminate some steps actually by doing that.
So you sure family foundation is money?
Oh yes, I monitor that one. Number 2148.
After that.
That's the specific nutrition account. Mm-hmm. Nope. I can't repeat that. I'm not gonna repeat that. All of the money that's donated from us is earmarked. Every dime that is donated through our processes are earmarked. It can't go to anything else. All right. Colonel?
Just to let you know, I brought some more of these, pouches for you. They are orange and green. They're $10 a piece for the big orange and green ones. These are $5 a piece. And this is a mirror inside, and that's $2. And there's some on the table back there, and I wanted to let you know they're back there. Please stop and get some. Every bit helps.
Also, if you look all the way in the back of the room, our guy Alton is set up with his t-shirts, some good looking shirts. You know we have the different shirts for the different colors for different games. I don't know what it is. You got to look on the schedule. But he's got them in all those colors, so please stop in the back to see him. Now, without further ado, the guy that's going to answer who's the starting quarterback for us today. That's all y'all came for, right? The head coach of the Florida A&M University Rattlers, James Colzie III.
Good afternoon. I don't know if this was discussed yet, but just continue to send prayers to the family, Jaden family, Fleming and Ronnie Burns, the 2 young men that were taken away this past weekend. They were kids who just graduated, and I'm saying that primarily, obviously tragedy, but a couple of those guys were line brothers to some of our teammates, and so there are some couple of guys on our team are really struggling with that. I know you guys tackled Mo on this training station. I want to know who's going to help fund the coach's nutrition station. I can tell you, we save a lot of money if he can keep them darn coaches from going in there. That $12.50 would go a little further by Coach Williams and Coach Thompson out of the darn cookie jar. Just kind of giving you some numbers, right? And I'll Um, you know, just for training camp. I'm just giving you guys just for training camp. For us to feed the football team, right? Meaning we're gonna give them 3 square meals a day. We're gonna give them a snack. And again, this is from, just say, August 1st until August 23rd, right? Because that's, well, 25th. So what is school start on the 23rd or 25th? 25th. It costs us anywhere between $100,000 to $150,000 just to feed them, right? Just until training camp. We bring them in for training camp. Obviously, you know, whether they're living on campus or off campus, you know, and we give them 3 square meals a day. Now, you know, we have to go through METs because it's on campus. So those are just numbers, right? You know, and again, it does include snack, and that's anywhere between 100 to 150,000. And then this is just from, you know, someone who knows. And I will say, probably the next couple of weeks, some other numbers are going to pop up of just what it costs, right, to feed not just football, but just across the country. So I mean across campus and in regards to our players and other players that are on campus, just to feed them. Now, just to piggyback on what Coach Sims was saying, like, so just think you just finished working out, right? Our football team just finished working out, and they got to reload. And in that reload, right, there's Rice Krispie bars, there's fruit, you know, there's cookies, there's, you know, muscle milk, there's things like that they will take with them on the way out. You gotta get what I'm saying? So they'll take that with them on the way out. You know, now we do have guys that come in and try to get meals off of that, right? But in all reality, that's just to get probably before you eat, before you lift, and then have something for after you lift, right? And you know, I know quite a few people have been in there. And we got our refrigerators and things of that nature as far as for them. Now, on top of the meal plans that you guys were asking about. So when we talk about meal plans, right? You don't need a meal plan for training camp because, as I stated earlier, I'm the one who's paying. So I pay for whether you're on scholarship, non-scholarship, our trainers, you know, all of that goes into that between that $100,000 to $150,000 range. So, but once school starts, right? If you have a meal plan, like I said, for my players that are on scholarship, you know, they're either receiving a check for meals if they live off campus, or if they live on campus, they're automatically given a meal plan, right? So that's, you know, now if you're not on scholarship, you know, whether it's through financial aid or through out of your own pocket, you will then either purchase a meal plan yourself, or you'll just, you know, pay for food on your own. So that's kind of, you know, there are some different elements for our guys, and I'll say this, you know, since we practice in the morning, I think I mentioned this last year, we practice in the morning. So I was paying for breakfast just because we were having our guys there early in the morning, and then, you know, we were footing the bill for whether it was non-scholarship or scholarship. Since I was having them there early in the morning, you know, we were also, you know, getting breakfast, and, you know, Ashley from Family Exchange and some family members were helping provide for food and things of that nature. So, you know, the most expensive thing for our guys is the food. You know, trying to get them to eat, right? Or keep them eating. And now you guys have seen some of our players. You know, food is extremely important to them. They get all 3 square meals a day, and some want 4 or 5. So, but either way, you know, we had to cut practice short today. I mean, I know we had, you know, it was practice 5 for us. You know, our trainers are you know, they're worried about 2 things right now, minus the health of our players, but just definitely worried about our players, but worried about the heat, and then they're worried about lightning. You know, and those are 2 things that if they occur, you know, we have to get off the field. So today, I mean, as you guys probably had seen, you know, it was getting really, really close, and it was about we're like 8 miles away from from a lightning strike. And you know, by rule, if you're 8 miles away, you have to get off the field, and then you have to wait 30 minutes. Well, little did we know that first couple lightning strikes that we received, it was only going to get worse after that. So at about 11:50, we canceled practice. Now we were able to get in everything except probably the last, you know, 3 or 4 periods. But my players, they already say, "Coach, we know you're gonna get it back." I said, "Yeah, we'll get it back. We're done today. Practice is done today, but we will practice tomorrow." You know, obviously we've had 5 practices. You know, I'm just to kind of piggyback on what Coach Mo's doing, man. You know, he is doing a fabulous job. You know, obviously getting him in and kind of getting him on the time that we did, and you know, he is I'll say this, watching our guys go through what they not, when I say go through, it makes it sound like they're suffering. They're not suffering. Watching them do what they do with Coach Sims is a tribute to what he's done in this past, right? And obviously gotten him to the point of where he is now. But the thing with me is he really, really knows what it's supposed to look like. Obviously being at Georgia, being at Jackson State, being at Colorado, he knows what it's supposed to look like, and that's the biggest thing that I'm seeing. And he's taking care of them. And he's training them, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's on the field. I can't. I don't want to tell him right now. I'll probably tell him later, but I can't let him know all the questions you guys asked me about strength and conditioning. Remember, y'all asked me about those questions during the season, right? Couldn't finish games and things of that nature, and but his goal is to make sure that we finish every single thing that we do, right? Not just a game, but they putting the weights back, making sure they start on the line, making sure they finish past the line, making sure they clap 3 times, making sure they clap 2 times. So he's real intentional with the details and making sure that these guys are abiding by something, abiding by everything that he's asked. And the biggest thing I like for him to say also is, he's delivering my message, and I really, really appreciate that on the daily, and I just can't overemphasize how great of a job he's doing. Right now, we talked last week, again, having 5 practices, we'll have our first day in pads tomorrow. We had to go through the acclimation period, being in the helmets, being in shoulder pads. So today was that last day of acclimation. And then, we'll be able to put some pads together on tomorrow. Obviously it's not the full-fledged tackle every period, but we will be able to bring some guys to the ground tomorrow. And then I think the biggest emphasis for me is just making sure we continue to take care of our players. We got a really, really good group, real fast group. O-line and D-line are battling every single day. We've only had about 2 or 3 guys that have needed the what do you call it, the ambulance, I guess, that's come out a couple times. And that was only because of cramps, right? So, when the ambulance comes, you're out for 2 days. So we only had 3, so that have come. Where last year we were maybe a little bit over than that number. But again, the 5 quarterbacks that we're using right now, they're doing well. You do get some some movement as far as who's working with the 1s, who's working with the 2s. But we have been able to put all of those guys in different situations. Defensively, we're flying around like the defense that I saw my first 2 years here being here. And but it starts up front. Davion Westmoreland, Nick Demetrius, James Gardner, Antonio Cameron, Terry Kinsler. They're right now, that group right now is probably dominating practice, and that's great to see a group that's been able to put pressure on the quarterback, and they're doing some really, really good things. So if I'm looking at a group right now that's playing the best, I would only say the defensive line, and then on the offensive side, our running backs are doing a really, really good job as well, and primarily because we got the best running back, in my opinion, in the country, in Thad Franklin. So but overall, guys are doing what they need to do. We've given them some different times as far as, we're practicing at 9, we're practicing at 10, we've been practicing at 11. At 11 o'clock in the morning practice, that was a tough one, not just for the players, for myself. I was rethinking some things that day. But fortunately, I did decide to come back the next day. But it was hot, guys. I ain't gonna lie, it was hot. It was hot, but we fought through it as a team. Our training staff did a great job, and believe it or not, just so you guys know, we dedicate 10 minutes, more. Is it 2 10-minute periods? Two 10-minute periods for the BRZ. Like, we stop practice, offense goes in the BRZ, they hang out for a little bit, defense gets water, then 10 minutes again, defense goes in the BRZ while the offense gets water. So continue thanks for the Rattler Boosters and the 220 Club here for what you guys continue to do for that. And just so y'all know, I talked to Coach Simmons about a week ago. He's trying to find a way to get the BRZ, and I told him he can't get this one. He can't get this. He better find another one. Leave this one alone. So, but he's looking for one too. So just so you know. But either way, I always enjoy hearing your questions and obviously comments, and looking forward to hearing them again today.
All right, question?
Yeah, me for right now.
How you doing, Coach?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
This question is on, you may or may not answer it, but have you pretty much decided
or determine in your own mind who your quarterback is. And just
Well, I'll say this. I know what I want our quarterback to be. And I'll, obviously being the head coach last year and how we won last year with the quarterback that we had, we will have to win differently this year just because of where our strengths are. And I'll say, because of our strengths being on the offensive line and in the backfield, and we got some really, really good wide receivers as well. At this stage, because of how well I think our defense will play, the type of games we're going to have to play early in the season, that guy's got to be able to make some throws when we need him to, but he can't make mistakes. He's got to be able to take care of the football. And it's easy to say for every quarterback, but specific for what we're trying to do for this football team. You bring guys in that you hope could be the starter, and we had one guy that wasn't able to do anything for the last couple of days because he was one of the three guys that received cramps. But I just overall I know what I'm looking for what we want to do for this football team. And do I have an idea? Yes, but I still want to make sure I'm being fair in the process. I promise you this. I'll tell you this. I will make a decision much earlier than I did last year. I can tell you that. Okay, now I still got a whole about 20 days to make that decision. But I do want whoever ultimately I decide, I want him to be able to make sure he goes through that entire week, before we play, working with the ones, continuing the momentum of working with the ones, continuing with the rhythm of whoever those receivers are going to be. So I will definitely make the decision a heck of a lot earlier. Okay.
How does your kickers and punters look?
They look great. I mean, everything is going in the end zone. We got two great returners that are going to be able to return the football, but we kicked 12 field goals today. We went 12 for 12. Kickoff guys are kicking everything in the end zone. I think we have an idea of who that kickoff guy is going to be. Our punters, we were able to probably take the best punter in the SWAC last year. He's with us right now. And then we were able to sign another kid that just came from Arkansas State, a local kid in Tallahassee. So, our kicking and how we're kicking and where we're kicking, it's looking like our 22 team, especially because we got some guys that got some really, really powerful legs, and they're putting the ball in the right spots.
Hey, Craig.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they talk about the quarterback.
I know.
Well, give me a good offensive line. I'll make the quarterback look good.
Absolutely. You hate to see, right now. I'm not saying you hate, but you're getting the Ashton Grabels, Charles Davis, the Elijah Phillips. A lot of our offensive linemen are receiving a lot of preseason awards, and that's great to see. I want them to have postseason awards. So I think that. Thad Franklin, again, being the best back, in my opinion, in the conference. Bo Somerset and, Jamal Haley, those are three guys that can carry the rock at any point of the game and hit one. So, but that starts up front. And I think, let's look at that last year. Up front is where we were hurt. We were hurt the most. And I think we did a really, really good job on offensive line and defensive line to help ourselves in that area.
Right. I always say alignment and assignment.
That's it.
Alignment and assignment.
Yes, sir.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Keep your eye out for Elijah Philippe, number 52, our left tackle. He's a dude. Elijah Philippe, 52.
All right, we got time for about 3 more questions. It costs $100 to ask a question, so make sure you have your check.
There you go.
Have your check. When you give someone a check and you can ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Sir. Reading the text. Sorry.
you just lost a check.
I'm sorry about that. My bad. Did you move? Did you?
Talk to us about the schedule, evaluating that 8 or 9 game stretch without a break. And what do we have? We have Alcorn, Jackson State, and North Carolina Central right there together. Talk to us about how you're gonna walk down Murray's Road and knock them all out.
I tell my guys. I'm telling my guys only to worry about what game. The first. You want me to talk about October? Okay. Well, I'll say this, and it's great that you asked that question. And Coach Sims is here, right here to my right. We got those 3 games, right, and then 3 good football games. And then we get our bye week, right? So it's going to be extremely important that during that stretch, we still stay strong. So we'll continue to lift, but, making sure at the end of the day where that those Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, that we are practicing hard, but we got to still keep them upright, because at the end of the day, we want Saturday to be where we're at our maximum level, right? So, I'll have to, we'll have to piggyback, and, we'll have to go week by week to, you're playing the game on Saturday, what's your injury report look like, and then how can we attack Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll have to be really, really intentional each week, right? To just make sure, again, that on Saturday, we're playing on our best. And again, Miss Suggs and we were able to put this, I think she put a very, very good schedule together, and we got North Carolina Central, we got Alcorn State, we got Jackson State, so, and obviously Alabama State to start it off. So, I just think that, our team will have to go week by week as opposed to looking ahead. So I think that's going to be really, really important. And then there's going to be time where our Tuesday practice one week may be different than the previous Tuesday. Again, just looking at how we are, because Saturday to me will be the most important day, and we want to be at our best that day. So just trust me, we've talked about it, we thought about it, but just week by week is going to be the best case scenario for us. No, at all. They got to come. They got to come down. It's okay. So we had to go on the road last year and play some really, really good opponents. So now they got to come home. We can't wait for them to get here.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
it sounds that we're gonna be a running team this year.
Yep. I'll say this. We have the ability, wide receivers, to do that, right? We got some wide receivers that can make some things happen. Some really good wide receivers, But I'll say last year I think we passed to run. Our philosophy is gonna run the ball and we're gonna stop the run. That is the philosophy. That is what we are going to be known as a football team. Now, if you want to go up there and try to make us throw the football, believe me, we could do that as well, especially with our receivers.
Now, been a running team.
Yes, sir.
Offensive line.
Yes,
So you have the backups, the depth charge.
We got 9, I think, in my opinion, 9 or 10 offensive linemen that can help us.
So they would be able to help.
Yes, sir. They're going to have to. Yes, sir.
They're gonna have to.
Yes, sir.
If we're gonna be a running team.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Did he give you a check? Yeah. He asked 2 questions. He said, by the way. When you say by the way, that's another question.
Are we gonna have a featured player on offense? I think last year we had a player that looked like he should have been featured a little bit more. I'm not gonna call his name, but you have this one dog in the house that you want to just make sure he gets a good amount of touches, just so he could just use all his abilities. But you always got that one guy on the field that everybody kind of shake him in their boots when it's that.
Well, I think we got a few of those guys. I think you have to obviously start off where the quarterback, whoever the quarterback is at Florida A&M, is always going to be the feature. And that to me just comes with the position. And then we're going to be on TV a whole bunch, and they're going to want to know who the quarterback is, just like you guys want to know. And I guess it just comes with the position. I think if we were able to get that Franklin the touches that he needs, but just you got Jalen Rogers, you got Goldie Lawrence, you got Jamal Haley, Bo Somerset. These are all guys that you get the ball in their hands, have the ability to take the ball a long way. Kanari Wilcher. Those. So we don't have, I guess touch guys. Guys that need touches, but we're able to run the football like I know we can. Then we're able now to spread the ball out like we need to. We're gonna have to lean on our offensive line, and I don't have any problem doing that with Ricky Taylor, Ashton Grable, Charles Davis, Elijah Philippe, Chris Williams. Those are guys that every bit of 6'4", 6'5". Ricky's the smaller one. He's about 275, 280 as our center. But that's Coach Burris and I run the ball. Coach, what do you want to do? Run the ball. We run the ball. Make them stop and sit on the ground. So then we can use our speed. I don't want to you guys to think that we don't have the receivers necessary to win, because we do. We got some really, really good receivers, but our receivers are I like our receivers in one-on-one, right? And while the defense is trying to stop to run the football. So I like what we do. I like what we're doing. We just got to continue to make sure we get that right guy under center so he can continue to he has to make correct decisions and get the ball to the right people.
Coach, last question
Yes, sir.
comes from online. How are you dealing with reduced practice time?
We try to, I mean, you can't go more than 2 hours out there anyway. You know what I mean? Out there 9, 10, 11 o'clock when it's, when it's as warm as it is. So I don't necessarily think it's reduced practice time. I just think we're just going 2 hours to save our players. We used to practice 2.5 hours a day. Then you had lunch, and then you slept in the locker room, and then you went right back out there at 4 o'clock again because we were doing 2 a days. Well, you're not able to do that anymore. After 2 hours, right? I mean, after 2 hours, our guys are now going to the BRZ and hanging out because they're just trying to get themselves back together. Then we feed them, right? And then we do bring them back for meetings. So we're even though we're starting at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, we're still keeping them to about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night just because of meetings. So it's not necessary to me reduced. I think we're getting everything we can out of them, right? But it's just again here, I don't know what they're doing up north, but when it's 95 degrees but then it feels like 105, we're not getting anything out because ultimately, as I think I mentioned earlier, when a guy comes or goes down and an ambulance comes, they're done for 2 days. We can't do anything with them. So if I continue to keep them out there 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 15, 2 hours and 45, there's nothing we can do with those guys anymore. So tribute to Coach Sims, right? Because our guys are lasting. Our guys are fighting through. They're going through the adversity. And today, another hot day, even though we didn't finish, we were close to 2 hours. Nobody was out. So they're training, right? They're working their tails off. They're fighting through everything that we're asking them to fight through. And so, I wouldn't say reduce. I just think maybe we're being a little bit smarter right now as far as taking care of the players. But again, guys, thank you very. I apologize for being late. We were trying to get practice situated, but I'll make sure I see you back next week. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Coach Colzie. Thank you, Coach Sims. Just want to remind that next week we will have, first off, nutrition account at the FAMU Foundation is $21.48. If you're online and you want to help with the nutrition, $21.48 is the number. Some people online asked about having food shipped from out of town. We'll talk about that, Coach Sims. I think some people want to send some things that way, whatever helps. Just remind that next week we will have the FAMU ticket office to talk about your tickets, FAMU PD to talk about the traffic pattern to get in and out of Bragg Stadium. Athletics, we'll talk about North End Zone and whatever else you all want to know from athletics. And we'll also have Dennis to talk about Rattlers Plus and give us some information about the SWAC Digital Network. SWAC Digital Network. And the 220 Quarterback Club, the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club, has been working along with FAMU Athletics, and hopefully we have a big announcement to make next week in reference to the season and the Rattler Sports Network. So anyway, don't forget we got the potatoes you can pick up on your way out. Mr. Carter's in the back with the different color t-shirts. Make sure you go see him. The Boosters kickoff luncheon is the 23rd. The golf tournament is this weekend, the 9th. So what I'm gonna do, this is a lot of information. How many people get the emails from us? I want to put this in an email to you because this is a lot to write down. If you're online now and you're not receiving the 220 Quarterback Club blast email, please drop your email address in the chat or messages in the 220 Club on Facebook, and we'll get you on that list so you don't miss anything. Once again, thank you for those online. I hope you all cashed out or something today to help us out. It's not free to have our coaches here. And the TV, the 75-inch TV. Is there any, did I remember everything, Dr. Jackson? Where's Dr. Jackson? You know she's organizing something. Did I forget anything? Did I do it all? All right, let's give it up for our CEO one more time. All right, we'll see you back next week.
We that October 11th game still be in Atlanta.
Yes, like the 4th.